Hi, NBC. I've got Daniel here on Zoom. I thought that we'd chat to him a bit about mental health first aid. Hey, Daniel.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Coping.
That's good. Okay, Daniel, I wanted to hear about mental health first aid course. We're running it. You've done it before.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, I think the most helpful way to think about the mental health first aid is to see how it's parallel with just the normal first aid course. Like in the normal first aid course, you learn about being the first responder on the scene of an emergency. For those of you who have done it, you know what you learn about. Mental health first aid is essentially training you to be the first responder when you come across mental health issues in your family and in your friends or in the people that you come across with in your workplace or wherever. So it's not training you to be a professional in dealing with mental health in the same way that a first aid course doesn't train you to be a paramedic or a doctor, but it trains you in being the first responder so that you know what to say, so that you know how to respond, and so that you can invite this person to find further help, knowing where those places are where they can find help.
Yeah, cool. That sounds really helpful. What do you actually learn?
Well, again, just like in a normal first aid course, you learn those steps of responding to an emergency: D, R, S, A, B, C, D, doctors A, B, C, D. If you've done the course, you know what I'm talking about. So in the mental health first aid course, you also learn some steps in responding when you come across a mental health problem. The steps in the course are ALGG or ALGE, and I'll keep the meaning secret for now. You can find out by doing the course. But they basically just teach you steps in responding. And I found these steps, ALGE, I found it so helpful in dealing with mental health problems as they've come up in my job as a youth leader, but also just in my friendship circles. Like it has been really helpful for somebody to kind of go, here's what needs to be done when somebody comes to you with a mental health problem. So you learn those steps, and you also learn about the most prominent mental health issues that people tend to have. So you have a lecture about anxiety and panic attacks and depression and substance abuse and suicidality and self-harm, psychosis, eating disorder. You get to learn about all of these things in really helpful detail, and it's not boring because Greg Powell, who's running the course, is incredibly engaging. And yeah, you learn all these really helpful things, and at the end of the day, they give you this wonderful manual that sits on my desk and is probably referred to weekly. So they're the sorts of things that you learn about.
Yeah, that sounds great. And Greg Powell's a clinical psychologist, so I think that is really cool as well to hear from someone who's professionally trained and working with mental health issues day in, day out. My last question for you was, why should I do it? Why should I sign up for mental health first aid?
Yeah, it's the $64 million question. And I could quote the statistics about mental health in our society, and I'm sure that you've heard that before. It's prevalent, it's everywhere. We could even talk about the waves of suicidality that we have seen in our community, particularly in young people in recent years. And there are all good reasons to do a course like this. But honestly, I think that the main reason I would advocate doing a course like this is because you think about the relationships that you have in your life and how often you come across tricky mental health situations, and you worry about the people who have issues or who are having issues, and you also worry about how you've responded to them and whether you've said the right thing, or even just not knowing what to say or how to respond. And like, I think that's really the felt need, isn't it? Like, this stuff comes up all the time for us. And I think it's just something we need to be taught. Here is how you can respond, and here's good education about what it means to be depressed or what it means to have anxiety. These sorts of things. I think that's what makes this course so helpful. It's a way that we, as members of the community, can be a loving presence to those around us. We can be salt and light to the world around us by learning about this stuff. And I think that's what justifies it as a course. It's why it's worth way more than $210, and it's worth way more than 4 of your weeknights. And I know that there's subsidies as well, so if people want to take advantage of that, they can. But yeah, it's a very, very helpful course, I reckon.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for suggesting that we put this course together as well. Yeah, I think it'll be really helpful for many of us. There's 24 spots in total, and I think 10 of those have been taken. There's going to be a link in the description of this video if you want to sign up. It's $210 for 4 Thursday nights in August. We'll make sure that that's COVID safe, whether it's online, probably at this point, we'll see. And if you've got any questions about the course content, chat to Daniel. If you want to talk to me about registering or possibility of a sponsorship, then please email me. Cool.
Thanks, Kate.
Thanks, Daniel. See ya.
See ya.